drug, gratefulness. It's free, it's healthy, doesn't cost anything. You can take it with you everywhere you go. You never run out. You don't need insurance. You just gratefulness. I mean, can you feel it now? I mean, if you've been singing, if you've been listening and watching, it's gratefulness has a power to it. When we're grateful for things and grateful for the blessings in our lives, it just pulls us out of everything. I was recently, there's something going on in my house with our Wi-Fi. And so everything's taken forever to, and when I say forever, I mean like 35 seconds, for a website to load. Isn't that interesting that we used to not be able to get anything on our computer at home, and now if it takes 35 seconds instead of 3 seconds, it's like I just want to break something. The other day I was searching for something on the internet. It took me to a passage from a book in the Vatican Library. And here I am. I almost broke my hand pounding the table. It was taking forever. I'm like, where is, this thing was circling around on my screen, and then it pops up, and I'm reading it, and finally I realize it hits me. I'm sitting here in my pajamas, and I'm looking at something that not that long ago I would have had to have gotten a ticket to Italy, flown to the vet. That is, if I could get permission to go in, hunt through the stacks, maybe find the book, find the chapter, and read this thing. And did I mention I was sitting in my pajamas in my living room reading this? Then the battery started running out. I got that red light, the red battery on my computer. I had to walk all of 50 feet or less to my home office to get my power cord. But I was so frustrated, like I was having to walk through the snow in my socks or something. And I realized, what is wrong with me? Is it just me, or does anyone else? If you think about it, if you're middle class living in America today, we are living better than Cleopatra lived. We have hot and cold running water. We have all kinds of, baked goods and, all kinds of access to fresh meats. And I mean, it's amazing. Hot, air conditioning, heating, centralized, all kinds of stuff that we have access to. We can tap our fingers, and within a few minutes, a driver comes up to take us wherever we want to go. Right, Gerald? Uber? I know you use Uber. We just tap our fingers, and then a car comes. Where would you like to go? And they'll take us wherever we want to go. That's amazing. And I remember just the other day, I called up an Uber, and it was, I don't know if you've ever done that, or Lyft or one of those, and it said, like, your driver is coming. We'll be here in 4 minutes. And I'm like, okay. And you can see the little car moving on the map. And I'm like, all right. And then all of a sudden, wait, where's he going? He took a wrong turn. And now it's like, your driver will be there in 9 minutes. And I'm like, what is this? I hate when this happens. And so it's 9 minutes before this car's going to get here. And I'm freaking out. I remember some years ago, there was a comedian who did a whole sketch about being on a plane. He was on the plane. It was one of the first planes when they started having internet service on the airplane. It was free. It was still kind of experimental. It was the first time he was really excited. He gets out his laptop. He's like, I'm watching YouTube videos on the plane. And then about halfway through the flight, he said that the Wi-Fi glitched. And they got on, the stewardess got on, or flight attendant got on and said, the Wi-Fi, we will now be turning off the internet service for the rest of the flight. We've had a little bit of a problem. And the guy sitting next to him was like, this is total bullcrap. I can't believe this. And a comedian saying, dude, how does the world owe you something that you didn't even know existed 30 seconds ago? He goes on to describe how people, complain about their flying experiences. They come to your house and they tell you how awful it was. Like it was a cattle car in Poland in the 40s. It was the worst day of my life. I had to sit on the runway for 40 minutes. This is a story in our country. People will listen to this story. This is a hardship that you had to sit on the runway for 40 minutes. People will stop doing the dishes and come over and listen to you tell this story. 40 minutes? That's awful. You should sue them. I had to sit on the runway for 40 minutes. Okay, really? Then what happened? Did you fly through the air like a bird? Incredibly? Did you soar through the clouds? Impossibly? Did you take part in the miracle of human flight? And then land softly on tires that you can't even conceive of how they filled them up? I had to pay for my sandwich. Oh, really? You're flying. You're sitting in a chair in the sky. You're like a Greek myth right now. Yeah, but the chair doesn't go back very far. Start squishing my knees. The Wright brothers would kick us all if they could hear us. If we could go back to Orville Wright and say, dude, I had to sit on the runway for 40 minutes. He'd say, oh man, let's not even bother with this thing. So the comedian goes on and on like this, reminding us of our silliness, how we get so accustomed to things that are incredible, that are going on in our lives all the time, and so they just become routine. If you get something new, you get a new car, you get a new house, you get a new whatever, you get a new job and a new desk, and you're just like, wow, this is amazing, a new TV set. You're like, oh my God, it's huge. Even, however big it is, if it's bigger than the last one, it's huge. And then, but within weeks, months maybe, it's like, this is just how it is. And we just settle in, and it becomes normal for us. There are 3 stories in the Bible that describe explicit encounters with God and transformation. And each one of these is preceded by the person leaving home. Think about this. There is a pattern in the Bible of people first getting out of their familiar surroundings and out of their routines so that they can encounter the holy and be transformed. Rabbi Alan Liu noticed this pattern, and he explains, when we leave everything that's familiar, we leave convention, and most significantly, we leave our habits and our routines, because God is never encountered in habit and in convention. God, the rabbi says, is encountered in reality. The reality that convention and habit obscure. But when we leave home, when we leave our habitual relationships and activities in the world, we see things freshly with new eyes. We see reality not just habitually as an idea of reality, as we so often do, but we see things for what they are, not the idea of what we think they are or get accustomed to. I had the water pipes in our front yard burst this summer. And I will tell you, I had no idea how much I relied on. We didn't have water for like a week. I had a neighbor brought the hose over, so, with a nozzle on there so that we'd at least have some water to do. You can't do anything without water, practically. And I realized how much we get accustomed to these things. The 3 Bible stories that I'm referring to are Jacob's dream of the ladder between heaven and earth in Genesis 28, and the account of Jacob wrestling with the angel in Genesis 32, and the story of Moses, his famous vision of the burning bush, his conversation with God, right? So these are 3 encounters in the scriptures that we call transformational texts. Each of these texts begins with a significant leave-taking, and the Bible goes to some pains to make it very clear that we don't miss that this happened after some leaving of home. The very first words that God speaks to Abraham are lek leka, just leave. He doesn't even tell him where he's supposed to go. Leave your father's house, your birthplace, your culture, everything that has ever made you feel comfortable and secure, and go. In both stories about Jacob, he's literally running for his life. The first story, he's running from his brother who wants to kill him because he's just stolen his birthright. The second story, he's running from his father-in-law, Lavan, who also wants to kill him. Talk about heightened awareness. But we're all running for our lives. We need to realize we're running for our lives, and we need to live not with the fear of that, but with the awakening of that. In the story of Moses in the burning bush, of course, it begins with his fleeing from Pharaoh, who wants to kill him. In the Bible, leaving home always precedes a divine encounter. Think about that. It happens because when we leave home, we wake up to the world around us. Buddhist masters describe this concept of transformation. They say it's called I don't know mind, or beginner's mind. They try to, meditation, all that stuff Buddhists are doing, trying to get back to a place where you no longer just see everything and take it for granted. It's like you put something in a light, in a electric socket, and we should go, wow, this is amazing. Look at this, But we're just like, yeah, stick it in, pull it out. Let's take a few seconds now. I want to. This is an experiential service, and I want you to take a moment and really think about some person you appreciate. Could be your grandmother, could be a teacher, could be your spouse, could be whoever. Somebody who you really appreciate, someone who's done something for you that's helped you. Take a moment and just take a breath and let that person's image and what they did for you come to mind. Okay, and now I want you to think of how will you pay that forward to someone else in the coming week or month, in this year, in 2020. How are you going to pay forward that gift, that blessing, that kindness that was given to you? Write it down if you need to. I think there's pencils in the pew backs. But think about how you're going to do something to be great, something you're grateful for. How am I going to pay that forward so someone's grateful to you for having done that? And now I want you to turn to somebody near you and tell them what it was you were thinking about. If it's too personal or private, then just tell them something else. But But I mean, I'm sure you're grateful for a lot of things. So if you were thinking about something you're embarrassed to tell, you don't have to tell that thing. Tell them something else you're grateful for. But turn to someone and tell them, what you're thinking. What you're thinking, who it was or who did something for you. And then we're just going to take a minute, and you can just turn to somebody, and even if you don't know them, that'd be fun. Talk to someone you don't know. All right, go for it. I'm going to go talk to Gerald, so turn off my microphone. Wow, what a night. Just if you're not talking, just listen. You could feel something. Just listen. It's like a song. It's like a bunch of birds, a flock of birds singing. It's beautiful. That's gratitude. That's the song of gratitude. That's the sound of people being thankful, remembering, and projecting forward a positive future. Beautiful, beautiful. I want you to continue. It's always risky for a preacher to let people, start talking. You never get them back. But I want you to take that with you. We're starting out a whole new decade of our lives. Today is the beginning of the rest of your life. So take that with you and begin to bless this new season. Another thing, we know this from Alcoholics Anonymous, 12-step programs, all things. When you are feeling bad, or you are feeling tempted, or you are struggling, or whatever you're going through, do something for someone else. That will pull you out of your depression. That will pull you out of your self-centeredness. Do something for someone else. Now, I know some people go overboard. They always are doing for others, and they don't take care of themselves. So I'm not talking to those of you who do that. Do something for number one, because we can't. We had a wonderful intern here at one point, Carol Sissel. Some of you remember Carol. She did a sermon. I still remember it. She said, "Serve from the saucer." If you're serving some of your tea to somebody, don't serve from your cup, because if your cup gets empty, you're not going to have something to drink. She said, serve from the overflow on the saucer of your life. Fill yourself up to overflowing with joy and gratitude and thankfulness and spirit and all of that. And then as it's overflowing your cup, serve to others and give back. And that's the way that we can do that and still sustain ourselves. Brother David Stendal-Rast, whose words we were listening to in that video, he's a Benedictine monk, and he observed that 99% of the time, we have an opportunity to be grateful for something, and we just don't notice it. We go through our days in a daze. We often don't realize what we have until it's gone. It's often after a relationship ends that we realize how much it meant to us. Or when we leave our job that we realize, or when our children go off to school. Or when our health changes. Oh my God, you ever get sick and you go, oh my God, I take for granted that I can get up every day and my head's not going, Spiritual teacher and writer Bo Lazoff, he died a few years ago, but he says the basics of a decent life are timeless. Listen to these. Get up in the morning. Pretty important. Take reasonable care of your body, mind, and soul. Do some kind of work that benefits the world instead of harms it. Respect and cherish other people. And then get some sleep. That's it. That's the formula. You want to be happy. You want to be productive. You want to make the world a little better than you found it. Get up in the morning. Take reasonable care of your body, mind, and soul. Do some kind of work that benefits more than it harms. Respect and cherish people. And then get some sleep. Timeless formula. It's not that complicated. Here's my invitation to you for the new year, and then I'm going to sit down.
You're doing good.
Try not to live on autopilot in this new season of your life. Look for ways to go beyond your habits and your routines. The idea here, the Bible's not telling us all to run away from home, okay? That's not the idea. These are metaphor. Don't over literalize this. It's about when you get outside of your comfort zone, when you go away from just your habits. That's what this is about. And so it could be something as simple as choosing for a week to brush your teeth with your non-dominant hand. Just that. Just like, oh yeah, I never noticed how, when I'm brushing my teeth, I just sort of go through this routine. I'm not even thinking. It could be putting something, a little Post-it note to yourself on the mirror that says, stop, visualize this, or think about this person, or give thanks to something. Take a moment to smile. Take a moment to look in the mirror without judgment and see your own beauty. There's lots of ways you could do this. I remember one time I did this where every time I started my car, I took 5 seconds at least to just say a little prayer. Every time I started my car. So 3, 4, 5 times a day sometimes. It was just simple, but it really put me in a great space. So what I'm trying to say is look for, you can put something on your dashboard, a little Post-it note, 3, 4, 5 times a day when you get in your car. What I'm encouraging you to do is create cues to initiate thankfulness. Because we need that. Otherwise, we fall back to sleep. So create cues, notes, to ring around your finger. My brother's always writing things on his hand so he'd remember them. Because life is amazing and life is short. And we don't know how much time we have. We all think we've got plenty of time. I remember hearing, who was it, the singer from Sweet Honey in the Rock, Issei Barnwell. Issei Barnwell, I went to their concert and she said, life is like a book, but we all think we're somewhere in the middle of our story. She said, you don't know if you're on the last chapter of that book. You don't know if you're on the last page of the last chapter or the last sentence of the last page of the last chapter, rounding its way towards the period. We just don't know. Life is precious. Love and community and music and so much. Nature is precious, and it's ours to enjoy in every moment. We don't know how much time we have with the people we love. So remember the formula. Get up in the morning. Take reasonable care of your body, mind, and spirit. Do some kind of work that benefits more than it harms the world. Respect and cherish other people. And then get some sleep. If you do this, you'll not only have a happy new year, but you'll have a happy life. God bless you. Amen.
We're getting ready to go soon. Can we stand together? You're my brother, you're my sister, so take me by the hand. Together we will work until we're done. There's no foe that can defeat us when we're walking side by side. As long as there is love, we will stand. You're my brother, you're my sister, so take me by the hand. Together we will work until we're done. There's no foe that can defeat us when we're walking side by side. As long as there is love, we will stand.
Hey, we're so happy you're visiting with us online today. We love connecting with people all across the country and around the world, sharing our powerful message of love beyond belief.
There's something new happening here. You can now join All Souls as a virtual member. Our virtual membership is designed for friends who live outside of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and who want to engage with All Souls in a meaningful way.
You can be part of an expanding family, a global family really, wherever you are. If you live in Oklahoma,
Ohio,
or Orange County, California,
Canada,
or Cameroon. By becoming a virtual member, you'll be able to deepen your connections with members and friends here in Tulsa and with members wherever you are.
Each week, you'll receive special All Souls content tailored for you, our virtual members. Virtual members have access to pastoral care, to personal prayers, and also receive invitations to exclusive web events.
You can learn more, and if you're ready, you can become a virtual member today by visiting allsoulschurch.org/virtual membership.
We're grateful our ministries are having a positive impact on your life, and we want to share the good news of love beyond belief with more and more people. So no matter what, we need your support to keep this ministry growing and thriving, so please consider making a gift today. You can do so by texting
Love BB for Love Beyond Belief to 73256 or simply visit our website. You are a blessing in our lives. May you be blessed
and be a blessing.